Alright guys, listen, I'm going to be showing you guys how to effectively work the freestyle trading platform. This is different from the live and the ground up strategies, as both of those were completely automated. And because of that automation, it ended up creating bugs. So what I ended up having to do was reduce at least the strategy itself, so that there's not so much, it's not so heavy in the automation process, because that's actually where a lot of the bugs were coming from. So much of the automation, now most of it still is, but the key important parts I had to dig through. Like, even though AI is what it is, I literally had to go through it and find out where was all these replicating codes coming from. AI didn't even do that. I had to do it. And once I figured it out, I was able to take out the parts that were disturbing the piece. Now, so what I want to do here though, guys, I want to show you how to give you the key points in working and understanding this. Now, I'm not going to use the actual, I'm not going to play a game, but I want you to follow attention and pay attention closely. Take notes if you have to. If this is serious for you, this is a business, why wouldn't you take notes? Why wouldn't you want to know as much as possible? Now, the first thing you're going to do when you're doing this for yourself, you first of all got to be aware that you're going to have to be responsible. All right, what that means is, if it says bankroll clear, you're going to have to make sure you put that down. If when it's time to actually go on the algorithm and decide which one we're going to use, you're going to have to note what it says. It's going to tell you what it is, but you're going to have to go there. You're going to have to read it. You're going to have to actually make the play call. It's going to tell you everything, but you're going to have to document it. All right, so let's just go through that. The first thing we do though, guys, you've got to get 2 games of data. What we mean by 2 games of data, you got to first of all complete all of this. Is 6 outcomes here. So the first at minimum thing you want to do is get the last 6 outcomes at minimum. But let's say there are about, what I typically do is go back about 10, all right? And I'll put those 10 outcomes all the way until we've gotten to game 3. All right, so let's say that there are 10. We're gonna act like there's 10 outcomes. I'm gonna go back 10. Let's count them back. So we're gonna go back 10. Now this is make believe. Okay, this is not we're not seeing this, but assume we're on a board. There's 20 outcomes. We're gonna go back to the 10th and complete all of these. Put all the outcomes in here until this thing tells us we are on our 3rd game. All right, so let's just do that. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, this is 1 game. Okay, so once you've put in this second one, you've completed 1. All right, so G1, game 1 is over, but we're in observation mode. You're not playing anything yet. You don't start doing that until your 3rd. All right, now, but what you've got to do is complete it. So go ahead on and complete this by clicking on that button right here, complete game. All right, so once you've done that, game 1 is now locked in the system. The algorithms are already starting to show signs of which ones are dominant and which ones aren't. Algorithm 1 at this point is in dominant, meaning is at 0. All right, so let's continue to move. Put in more outcomes. This is game 2. So you can see how it took the last 5 of game 1, pasted them back to the top. So now we're only left for game 2. We only need to put in 1, 2, 3, the next 3 outcomes. You can see it says game 2 observation mode. Let's hit complete game here. All right, so now you can see where it says now game 3 active. Okay, so now we are in a active mode, and you can see here the algorithms have aligned which ones are at 100% and which ones aren't. All right, so once you've come to this 3rd game, okay, you're going to put in this last outcome, whatever that is. Now once that's happened, you're in your 3rd game. Okay, it's now time for you to actually play. Now, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put, we'll upgrade this so that you can see clearly here in this area where you're in your third game and it's actually time to start. But until that happens, listen at what I'm saying. It doesn't start until game 3. Okay, so once you get to game 3 and you see how this is glowing. Okay, once you're in game 3 and that's glowing, you're going to find the algorithm that is at 100%. And once you find that at 100%, that's the one that you're actually going to be jumping on. All right, so this is at 100% right now. And then once you find that, that's the one you locate. So this one's sitting at 100%. And so that's the one you're on. So you're right here on algo 2. All right, so let's just say the outcome was P. All right, so now that was wrong. Now, when you put your bet, so here's another thing. So let's say you have $100, whatever you have in your bank account, 1%, 2% maximum minimum bet. All right, so that's another thing. You are going to have to be responsible for the amount. So you're going to need to know what you're going to play. So if you have a $100 bankroll and it's 1%, then you're playing how much? $1, right? So you're playing $1 for the unit. If you lose hand 1, you're going to do a double bet on hand 2. All right, and here is where it says hand 2, what you should play for hand 2. You see right here where it says banker. All right, so you'll put your chip on banker. If banker comes out, you put it there. Once that happens, you're going to hit complete game. All right, so let's hit complete game. When you do that, you're going to have to tell us if you won or if you lost. If you won, you put win. If you lost, you click loss. But if it wins, you click it. Here, you're just going to put down whatever the minimum bet was. All right, whatever the minimum was, whatever the initial bet was, that's what you're going to put down. All right. Now, if we won it, okay, so that's a unit 1. So if we're going to the next game, that's what we'll do. You can see here now it says game 4 active. Before we start the betting outcomes, we got to put in this last outcome or whatever that is. So let's put that there. You can see algorithm 2 is still at 100%. It says for hand 1, we're going to play negative. All right, let's say player comes out. For hand 2, it says we will play not negative, we play banker. For hand 2, it says play banker. So let's say player comes out. You're going to hit complete game. You're going to say lost because you lost them, right? But you're going to put whatever your minimum is here. All right, and it's going to automatically calculate that for you. Click on to the next game. All right, and now you can see here this one now is at 100%. So as long as you're following the top performing algorithms, you just follow this until you see it where it's under 90%. If it's under 90%, 2 things you can do. 1, you can stop. You can stop and you can wait. Or 2, you can play ground up strategy. All right, now the ground up strategy for users who are already doing that, what you essentially will be doing is finding the lowest algorithm, right, which is algorithm 3 in this case, and you will be playing against whatever it says. Now, algorithm 3, the opposite of it is 4, and vice versa. Algorithm 1, the opposite of it is 2. So when you're playing against the lowest performing algo, you are playing, if it's the lowest performing algo is 1, you're going to play 2. The lowest is 4, you're going to play 3. So let's just go ahead and simulate that real quick. Now, this is not it. Now, this may still show active. Anything above 90% is going to show active. Okay, so don't let that, so this is not built with ground up in it. So if you're going to play ground up because none of this is above 90%, at that point, what you do is find or if you're just playing ground up, period. Like some players will just play ground up, period. What you're going to do if you're just doing it, period, you start at game 3 and you find the algorithm with the lowest performance. In this case, it would be here. So how would we know what to play? We would literally play the opposite of banker, or if that's confusing, just remember algo 4 is the opposite of 3 and algo 2 is the opposite of 1. Okay. Or you can just remember, if you're playing against it, play the opposite. So in this case, it says banker, you will be playing player. Now watch this, guys. Even though you might have won, you can't click and complete game. The only time you can complete game is if you get another outcome. Now, if you're going to end the session here, if this was your last one, you can put whatever you want. But if you're going to continue on, you need to wait until the next outcome. All right. And then once that happens, you put it in there and you hit complete game. And then you tell it whether you won or whether you lost. All right. And that is all that there is to it. Okay. Now, again, it's not that much more difficult than what you were doing, but it takes away a lot of the bugs that we were having because of so much automation in terms of the process. So this makes it a lot more streamlined, but it is a little bit more hands-on, and you will have to have a little bit more responsibility in what you're seeing and what you're doing. All right, just a little bit, not a lot. It still tells you everything, but you know, if this says bankroll player, you're gonna have to make sure you put it in there right. Okay, if it's game 2, this is not the time to bet. Pay attention, write your notes. Okay, so you got to be on top of your game. All right, and again, anytime there's an algorithm that's above 90, you'd prefer to play on it or against the lowest performing algorithm. But if it's above 90, play on it. If there's nothing above 90, play against the lowest performing algorithm. All right, well, listen, guys, that's just the basic nutshell of how it works. The same ideology of playing when you hit a -3, a -6, take breaks. Okay, come back if that should happen. That don't mean you have to stop anything. Just take a break. All right, if you lose 2 in a row, particularly playing ground up, that's when you take a break. All right, we do have a lot of consistent winning. So, but you're not going to win at all. So you got to be in the mindset of understanding that you're not going to win it all. I mean, I don't think most people think that, but a lot of folks get emotional when they don't win. So that's the reason you got to rid that, because we overwhelmingly are killing this. So if you have any questions, let me know. But this is the most recent freestyle version of it all that allows you to do it without the bugs. So go to shadowmaxtrading.com and join the free trial, the free demo, and as well as join the team. Right now we have users making 700 to 900. Right now the entire group is at 1200%. We're going to be having soon, we're going to have one of our users give his testimony, which I know he's at 700% growth, and he's been here since the beginning. You guys get a chance to hear from him hear from him, and you can see exactly what he's doing. He's only doing what this thing tells him to do. The only time people typically have a bad time is if they do what they want to do, and typically that's just what we call gambling. But he's going to tell you, if you follow the instructions, you follow the rules, you follow what I'm saying. His name's Jason. He's on the leaderboard, or used to be. But the guy is just killing. And then too, we have a couple other users I'm going to be highlighting who's doing even better than him. So stay tuned, because we're going to be talking to them and a lot more coming your way. shadowmaxtrading.com. Take the free trial or join the team and start earning money in a time in which it's really difficult to earn it. Till the next time, guys, this is Charlie Brawley. Take care.